Hi, shiny people. How are you doing? Well, what got me to wanting to share is actually my soul sister, Vivian. Not only is she my soul sister, she's my inspiration. She's my partner in crime. And what I mean by crime is this journey that we have been sharing together, just like all of us. You know, we have someone, and Vivian has been that one, along with many other people, obviously. But I think we connected in a bigger way. It's like we knew that we were like two peas in a pod. So I love my soul sister. I really, really, really appreciate that you had the courage to come out and to express yourself, to love yourself in such a way that you honor your truth, that you're perfectly aware of the divine love that flows through you and is who you are. I'm really, really, really grateful and excited for you. And not only is Miss Vivian my soul sister, which, what can top that? She's also my cousin. Kind of like a long lost cousin. We found ourselves in Facebook. It's just a miraculous thing. But what I wanted to share, aside from my sister, is who we are, who we really are, who we forgot or we have forgotten that we are. Recently I had this lesson, and I don't know if many of you know, but there's this book called A Course in Miracles. And through this book, there's three books in this book. There's the, let's see, it escapes me. There's the lessons, that's the middle part of the book. There's the text, and then that's the first part of the book. And also there's the teacher's lessons, I believe. Teacher's manual. Yeah, manual for teachers. So every day you're supposed to do one lesson, right? So I did this one lesson day before yesterday, and the lesson is that you needed to go into meditation, repeating the mantra, and the mantra was the name of God. Boy, I wasn't prepared for this thing. I mean, before I went into meditation, I was thinking, well, what name am I going to use for God? What is it that I'm supposed to be repeating? And with that, my mind was super busy trying to figure that out. It was really worried about me finding the proper name for God. So I went into my meditation, and still with this idea that I needed to find the name, I thought, well, okay, I'll repeat God. And so there I was, repeating God, God, God in my mind, because that's what I was supposed to be repeating, well, the name of God. And I thought, well, okay, what better name than God? But it wasn't really doing anything. I didn't feel anything. So then my mind jumped over and thought, okay, well, what about Father? So I repeated, Father. And still that felt alien to me. Like it wasn't really what I needed at that moment. Like it wasn't true. Like it wasn't really uniting me with the love that I know God to be. So then I thought, okay, well, let's try I am. And as you know, Wayne Dyer, Dr. Dyer, and Neville Goddard, and Reverend Ike, and of course in the Bible, they talk about I am that I am. So I gave that a try. All this while I'm meditating, right? So I get into this peace when I start saying I am. I wasn't saying I am that I am, but I was just saying I am. And I was laying down. It seems like I can meditate better when I'm laying down. I yet have to find the way to actually get into it by sitting down. I know Paramahansa Yogananda, he recommends to be sitting, but I haven't found that it actually helps me. So I like laying down, and I don't fall asleep. Well, I have a couple of times, but laying down really works for me, where I've had several experiences. So during this last one, while I was doing my lessons, right, I felt this pressure. It was like a energy that covered me from my neck down, and it was heavy, and not in the sense of heavy as in negative heavy, but as in a loving heavy, like in a pressure heavy, but not in a choking kind of heavy. It was like something laying on me, but it didn't feel like it had form. It felt like energy, and just giving me this loving pressure. And as I laid there, I loved it. It was feeling one with God. Just loving the moment. It was beautiful. And as I enjoyed this, obviously my mind was still trying to find a name for God, even though we know perfectly well that God has no name. He is all that is. I ended my meditation, and I felt love, more love for my divine spirit and for myself, giving me myself love through forgiveness, basically, because you kind of feel when you're not really into your meditation that your mind is sabotaging that connection, but I forgave myself for that, because in my limited view of this world, I'm trying to find, with worldview, a connection to the infinite and to the other realms that would be almost impossible, well, is impossible, to be connected physically. We're energy, so we can't be there with the body. It's just your energy. So I ended the meditation and I was happy and grateful that I had that experience. And then came the next day. And the next day when I read my lesson, I was laughing at myself because it said that when you try to find or give a label to something, you are actually separating yourself from the divine. Now, not who, but how true is that, right? It was just amazing to come to that realization because, or reading that, meant a world to me. Because then I totally understood what or why I had to do the meditation yesterday with trying to repeat God's name. It's just impossible. It's impossible to connect when you are giving labels that are separating you from the whole. So I'm going to read to you this part of the Course in Miracles of Lesson 184. It says, there you go. You live by symbols. You have made up names for everything you see. Each one becomes a separate entity and identified by its own name. By this you carve it out of unity. And that last part is what really got me. That says, by this you carve it out of unity. And the lesson went on to say that by us giving us names, we are creating a separate entity. So by me naming you by your name, I'm identifying with the reality of separateness. Yeah, I'm identifying with the reality that we are not one, and therefore perpetuating the illusion of not being one. That was huge. I mean, I've known this. It's like I've read this, and I can feel it to the core of my being. But at the same time, it is just so true that this has come at this point in time with what happened in Paris and other parts of the world, Syria, all the bombings and massacres that are happening. So I think the whole idea of this video for you, or the message that I would want to leave with you, is that this is a Dalai Lama quote that says, "Love is the absence of judgment," which triggered this whole thing that I wrote. Love is the absence of judgment. So truly, we cannot find or feel love when we feel separate, or we create separation by identifying with the idea that we are separate and by giving each other separate names or separate labels. And the labels don't necessarily be, and I'm not referring just to the names, I'm referring to the different labels that we identify with, like I'm a girl and you're a boy. I am, I don't know, pharmacy technician and you're a doctor. Or I am white, Mexican, you are black, you are Caucasian, you are white, you are Asian. All these labels that we have attached to ourselves. Religion, I am a free spirit. Or you are Catholic and you are a Muslim, and all these things that kind of label us and put us into different groups actually separate us. They don't unite us. It may unite the group of people that are part of that group because they have something in common, but it doesn't unite them with the rest of the world. It doesn't make them feel part of the whole, or make us feel, not them. It doesn't make us feel as part of the whole because we have labeled us one way or another. So I guess the point is that we need to find a way to see each other not as separate, but as a divine expression of God, and everyone equally expressed as the divine love that is trying to express through each and every one of us. So one thing that I really want to remember for myself, right, and that I want to share with you is that I'm going to read from what I wrote. So we do need labels to navigate this world, but we must remember that God is nameless, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, and that we must see each other beyond the labels, beyond the names, beyond the race, beyond our genders, beyond our religions, beyond anything that separates us from the sacred unit that we are. The less we judge, the more our hearts open to unconditional love. We are all here to remember that we are love. We are here to help each other remember. So there you go. I'm here to help you remember who you are. I send you all my love, and I send you the memory of love, so that as you go deep within yourself, you find it, because you will never find it in any of us. You will find it in yourself. Everybody is just a little lamppost, a little lamp with the same fire of divine love burning within them. And I bless you with God's love, which you already have. You don't need it from me. And I wish you a great weekend. All right? Love you.